Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is titled How I Almost Became a Nun or a Reverend Sister, and this is a true life story and is also my story. So let's get right into the story. Yeah, so about 2010 or thereabouts, when I have just graduated from secondary school, I actually graduated from a mission school, but that wasn't where I started nursing this feeling to become a nun or a reverend sister. Fast forward to 2012, that was 2 years later, I started having this feeling that, oh, I don't think I belong to the secular world. I need to become a missionary, maybe a nun or a reverend sister, whichever it be. And I confided in some people about these options, about this thought of mine. But you wouldn't believe that no one, like when I say no one, none of them supported me. They were like, become a reverend sister? Why do you want to become a reverend sister? Why don't you get married or pursue your education? I don't even see you in that light. What will happen to men? I mean, very ridiculous excuses, and some just trying to talk me out of it. But I pressed on. It is my feeling, it is my emotion. I'm the only one who knows what I go through, right? And not them. So I began to make research, looking at some congregations like the Daughters of Divine Love and whatever. There was this other international congregation. It doesn't come to mind now. But then, luckily, in my year one, I met a reverend sister who became my friend, and she was of the DDL congregation. So I told her, look, this is a feeling I've been nursing. This is something I've been aspiring to. What do you think? She was like, I shouldn't, quit university to get into the convent. I should just keep praying and keep looking at the process and inquire. I should make enough inquiries. She can help me with places I can make inquiries on how to get into the convent. But then I should keep praying over it to see what God has to say, whether it is my mission or whether it's my calling or not. That gave me a bit of peace. Like I felt more settled hearing that from her. So as years went by, whenever we meet, she'll be like, "How far?" I'm like, "I'm still interested, but then let's get on with schooling, right?" Okay. But then in my second year, something happened. I met another old friend of mine, and then I did tell him again about this, and he was like, "Oh, why don't you just prove it and get a confirmation?" I'm like, "How do I get a confirmation?" He said, "Just pray. God has a way of, saying things to us. He has a way of confirming things to us, has a way of explaining things to us. If it's something that will be, He will surely bring it to pass. If it's not something that wouldn't be, He also has a way of, changing the direction or the course of our lives." All right, so I went into prayers. I would say my novenas, and I made my vocation the main theme of my main prayer point for every novena. And something spectacular happened which made me to want to share this story with you. So in one of those days I slept, and in that dream I was in a church, and it was like the bishop was the chief celebrant. It was like a consecration mass for reverend sisters. And I was seated among them, but I was on a mufti, whereas every person who was seated close to me, they were already on their habit. So habit is like the cloak the sisters wear or the nuns wear, right? And now when it was time to call out, names to present the candidates, the mother general came, she called out every candidate, she didn't call me. I got up from my seat. I went and told her, "Mother, you didn't call me among those that will be consecrated, though." She was like, she just waved at me. And then I stood there, and everybody on the altar was consecrated except me. I woke up from that dream. Now, after some days or weeks, I can't remember now, I had another dream again. And in this dream now, I was again seated in church. And the same, just like almost similar to that first dream, every other candidate was called out. I was called out too. So I went to the altar and I knelt down. Do you believe that I was on mufti Every other person was on habit, but this time I was at the altar with them, kneeling. The bishop came and was laying hands on people, and he got to me and he skipped me. Ha! I wasn't even holding my candle or prayer book or anything, but there were sisters to my right, there were sisters to my left. I was there on a mufti. The bishop came, he skipped me. He didn't even like bless me. No, nothing. He just skipped me. I was trying to call the attention of the bishop. He finished consecrating others. We went back to our seats. Now, some months later, the most shocking thing happened. Again, in my dream, I dreamt that this time around, I found myself already on the altar kneeling. The bishop came, consecrated others, and now he got back to me and took the CWO wrapper and hung it on my shoulders. Okay, sorry, I'm laughing. He hung a CWO wrapper on my shoulder and then he blessed me and asked me to go. I woke up in that dream and that was it. I knew it wasn't. It wasn't going to be. That was the final dream. I never dreamt of it again. And then when I went back and narrated it to sister, she told me, what do I think? I said it wouldn't be. She said, fine. So you see, this is not your vocation. So I think at that moment, I began to think, okay, so what other things could I do with my life aside aspiring to be a reverend sister? Because I really loved being a missionary. I really love being a missionary because as a legionary, most of my core legion works were hospital visitation, home-to-home visitation, taking care of children, and going to different parishes to establish presidiums or presidia for them. I just love being in the mission work, taking care of the sick, helping people to find clarity. These are things I love to do. So I felt I would be more devoted and more opportune to do it as a nun or as a reverend sister. You get where that's feeling, or where I started nursing to become a nun. Okay, now in my final year, I met my now mentor and I had to bring up this conversation again with him. But what brought this conversation was he asked me, how far am I aspiring to marriage? What is my plans after school and all that? I told him there is no marriage aspiration here. Oh. And he's like, okay, is no one coming? I said, people are coming, but I've got no interest. So he asked me why. I had to tell him my list of reasons. He just shook his head and then he said something to me, which I still hold dearly till today. And I have also been able to, say this to some other people who were at that stage of life with me, and it has helped them find clarity. What did he say to me? He said, everybody mustn't become a missionary. Every one of us does not go on a mission like the missionaries, but there are many ways we can support the mission. And one way to support the mission is to become an apostolate, is to choose an apostolate and be devoted to that apostolate. I'm like, I don't understand. This grammar is too big. He's like, you can choose your apostolate to be visiting the sick. So you go from time to time, you visit the sick, you interact with them, you pray with them, you help them out. You can choose your apostolate to be praying for the souls in purgatory. From time to time, you pray for the souls in purgatory and offer it up as your way of supporting the mission or the church. Then you can also choose, organizing children and teaching them how to pray, teaching them the catechism, and, teaching them good morals and values that will help them in society. You can choose your mission to be going to the homes of maybe the elderly or of people randomly to, sit with them, interact with them, share the word of God, share your joy, make them laugh, help them out in one way or the other. So you mustn't be a reverend father, a monk, a nun, a reverend sister, a brother. You mustn't be consecrated according to the church's doctrine or laws for you to have a mission. And that was the highest point of clarity for me, aside that third dream where the bishop had to place the CWO wrapper on me. By the way, CWO is the Catholic Women's Organization. So for those who are following me and who do not understand what CWO means. And so far, I have also learned that when I begin to have a burning desire for something, I mustn't always, just rushing to start. Sometimes I step back and then I pray and I'm like, okay, God, what do you have to say about this? Sometimes I may not even wait for confirmation. Sometimes I may not wait for confirmation and then I delve in and then as the point, God will be like, hey, come back. Oh yeah, follow this way. This is not where you should be going. Just come back, turn back, turn back, turn back. So that's why sometimes you see people who have gone far in a certain area of life turn back and you're like, they should have persevered. Not necessarily that they didn't want to persevere. Maybe that wasn't the right path for them. You could see someone set out to become a doctor and then somewhere along the line of their practice they're like, no, this is not for me, I want to get into advertising. And you're like, look at this guy, you just here wasting your time. Why did you spend years becoming a doctor? Life doesn't go that way. But then let me not deviate from what I was saying, back to track. So why am I making this video? I'm making this video because one, I don't know who needs it, who is at that stage of confusion, should I or should I not? Two, when you begin to nurse feeling to serve God, remember, serving God is not only as a missionary, but then there are many ways you can support the mission, which I've already listed in this video. Another thing would be, choose an apostolate for yourself. It could be saying one Hail Mary or one Glory Be, one Our Father, or saying any ejaculatory prayer for all travelers for each day. For instance, there's something I do recently that amazes me. Whenever I see an aeroplane passing by our house, because we live on that plane route or whatever, I just excel and I give thanks to God. Like, okay, thank you, God, you have brought this plane this far. Whether they are going, whether they are coming, whatever, as far as it has flown past my house, I must offer a prayer for everyone on board, pilot, passengers, crew, whatever it be. It is a form of mission. I mean, your mission could even be praying for children all over the world. Your mission could be praying for people who are hungry. Your mission could be, sharing food. So your mission could be physical or spiritual, whichever one it is. Just choose an apostolate. You mustn't run to go and become a nun and then along the line you are feeling unfulfilled or you begin to feel frustrated because this is not what you are actually called to do. And some people's mission are to support missionaries, like direct support to missionaries. It could be in form of finances, it could be in form of works of charity, it could be in form of taking care of them, maybe the elderly ones, or serving the younger ones, or whichever way. So choose an apostolate and stick to it and live by it. But then if you are still confused after watching this video, reach out to your regional superior or reach out to any cleric that you think can direct you. Yeah, your case mustn't be my case. It could be that you are called and you are dodging. But in my own case, I wasn't called. They gave me my CW wrapper. And yeah, now I am in that phase of life. And then another thing is, I think we do not understand that marriage is also a vocation where we are meant to serve as family. Okay, so raising a family is a vocation, but that would be I would elaborate that on another video. But I want you to also know that if you think that praying too much, that like you like to be that person who excludes himself, who loves solitude, you can still serve God in family. Family is a vocation. In family, you can still find your solitude. In family, you can still find your love for prayer. In family, you can still find joy. You can still find light. You can still share your gifts. Okay? So don't think that you are left out. All right, I'm going to stop this video here, but just let me know in the comment section what's your takeaway from this video. Did you enjoy this story time? If you did, and you would like me to bring similar stories or more stories about my life and how I did navigate some things, just tell me that in the comment section, and I'll see you next time. You take care. Bye.